Yes, hello. I would like to greet you all. This is wonderful to be able to connect this way, and I feel honoured to be able to hear my name being called in this manner. And I am gracious and humbled that I get to be able to speak through and now connect to you. And so this is tremendous times, and this is the pinnacle of what humanity has always wanted for. And so while there has been much that has happened since I have been on this side, I have also been closely monitoring and guiding as many as I can to be able to help nudge the truth, because it's always been part of my bigger morals was to share the truth. And while I was supposed to be coerced into other things, and I did not want to go, I took my responsibilities of my presidency as being something with great honor. And each and every time I got to meet my fellow American and it's like-minded people and folk that had passion and devotion to our country, I couldn't morally be twisted because I was you. I felt close to you all, and I wanted to honor and be a great leader for you. And it was a juggle because there was so much temptations to be able to go into a different direction, and there was so much pressure. There was so much pressure. While it looks glamorous and you're hanging out and people perceive you to be just flawless, you're very much human. You're very much tempted with the emotions and the dramas of it all. And my responsibilities weighed heavy on my heart and on my shoulders. And because I wasn't just doing my role and my job for myself and my friends and my family, but I was also doing it for you, the American people. And I have still such great honor to have been able to serve my country for you. And I am still, well, I can see it now from the bigger picture. I still have some frustration, but it's not frustration. That is a harder word. I wish I could have done what I had wanted to have done to help my country. And I wish I could have continued on my path without being stopped. And I don't have any animosity towards the people who organized my assassination, because that is all mended now. My only disappointment is that I couldn't be your greatest president to be able to push and move forward with truth and honor and dignity. And I sincerely wanted to be able to do that for my country, for my fellow men. And so I feel like part of my role, my passion, and my drive was cut short. So it is frustrating, but I have been able to do tremendous things on the side as well. So while I couldn't do it physically, I have definitely been honoring my country and humanity by pushing and nudging with love and guidance, and sometimes with a little bit more love and guidance and pushing to put pressure on the hearts of men who should have the greater moral compasses. And so I was, and always have been, still diligent towards this greater goal. And so you can understand how tremendously excited and pleased I am with how things are going. And I understand right now when things are just starting to get even more heated up, things must just feel like you just want more proof, you just want more action, and you just want to get moving forward now. You've had enough. You know the truth, you can feel the truth, and you're waiting for it all just to kick off. And I want to say to you that it has been. And I want you to know that while in your daily lives you're not seeing the physical changes and the proof, and I can reassure you and guarantee you, you're going to know that it's very true what everyone's been saying, and it is profoundly awakening to know the extent of all that has been happening. So you're going to be very proud of your fellow men, not just the Americans, but also the other countries that have come in and supported this alliance, who have done great, tremendous things to be able to help your countries and help the world be removed and have the control of these other beings who are heartless and do not have humanity in its best intentions. And so truly what was the key here was when humanity all worked together, and when all the bigger powers that could be, who stopped their bickering amongst their borders, who stopped their bickering amongst their mining and their land grabs and their egos, and when they actually dropped separating themselves and worked together to be able to come together, to be able to take control of these darker forces that have been underground. And yes, I was very much aware of them. I was taunted by the thought that these were real. I could not believe it. And it was unfortunate that they were true and still are true. And so it is tremendous times, and the truth is always going to come out. And I feel compassionate to help everyone who wants to find a bigger truth and is still not quite sure, if they're wavering with their emotions of whether they want to believe this or not. You don't have to believe it. It is totally fine. What's happened has already happened. And just because you believe it and settle into it doesn't make you the monster for these bad actions that have occurred. None of you are responsible for what has been happening. It has definitely been a tremendous distraction for a lot. And most of the bigger people who have been responsible and taking their free will and supporting something that is not human, that has the least amount of human consideration there is, those people who have been harming humanity, those crimes against humanity, they're also being dealt with, which you will be aware of very soon. You have to know that most of the people who are still unaware of this, they do need to see a smaller part of this to be shocked and then brought together. And so it will look a bit chaotic, even more so than now, that you're aware of this because you've been hearing this by many others. So I wanted to come in and endorse the situation that's going to happen because it's the truth. The truth has to always will always set you free. And while you're already set free, because most of you have already got the bigger mindsets, it's about your fellow man who has not actually awoken yet to the truth of all. So it's tremendous times, and I just wanted to say that I have never left my country. I'm still very diligent in helping any way I can. And my family have connected with me. They know that I am still here in the spirit form, and they understand this, and of course they will be able to connect with me on the 5th dimension. And I'm very much looking forward to meeting my grandchildren and experiencing their energies in another realm, which is very exciting for us all, as it should be for all of you and your families, because it's about connecting. It's always been about connecting with each other, be able to be proud of each other's families and family members and supporting each other. You may not agree. It's never about agreeing with each other. It is about supporting each other and being proud of each other's belief systems without it threatening yourselves. And so this is how you get to the bigger mindsets. This is how you're getting ready for the next dimension, is being able to see a debate that's on the TV or on your computer screens with two people you may not necessarily even personally know, but you've got an opinion about one of them or both of them. And so you're wanting to be entertained, and you want your visions to be played out how you need it to be. And while that's still playing the game of the 3D and bickering over who's got the biggest, the best policies and who's trying to outsmart each other, you know the truth. You know who has got the higher morals here. And I don't need to tell you who that is. You know who it is. You just need to listen to your hearts and hear what's happened and see what has been happening to your country and to the world. It's not invisible anymore. You can see it and you can feel it and you know it. So it's very exciting times, because you're not stupid anymore, because you've stopped listening to the bubble box. You're not listening to just the smaller minded people who are trying to push you or manipulate you anymore. You're getting it. You're finding your own research and you're resonating with what works for you. And that is the most exciting thing for us all who are here supporting you and watching you. Because it's the most greatest thing you can do is empowering yourselves. And once you empower yourself, then you're so much more free to empower others. And that's when the true joy starts kicking in. When you just see love and joy and you support everyone. It's not about separation and division. It's about embracing. And when you can embrace others, you will grow with others. And that's more tremendous than being right. And that's more tremendous than getting your own way. And so you've always got things to learn. Never assume you know it all. That's a very dangerous position to be in, because it stops your growth. And so you're always growing and you're always expanding. And even when you ascend, and even when you get to the 5th dimension, and even when you go home, you still got the learning. It may be different in so many ways, but you're constantly growing and expanding and learning. And when you know you're not, you start getting stagnant. You start getting things wrong with the bodies and the mindsets and the heavy feelings. You know that's because you're starting to release all this stuff. You've basically purged all. And you've been working so hard with this blessing, which was the lockdowns, to connect with yourself more and have more time out for yourself and think about what you really want in life when you get out, when the lockdowns shut off, when you can get out and you start fantasizing and visualizing and planning what you want to do with that new sense of freedom. Freedom, because it's all in your mind, how you want to perceive your freedom. It's very powerful what you can do with your mind. You can put yourself in the present. You can also put yourself up in the sky and soar high like an eagle, because you've got the power. You've got the power to go high and be strong and bold and have integrity and honor and know who you are and stand proud. And I want you all to be able to stand proud of who you are right now, because you seem to forget sometimes that you're in this very challenging situation right now on this planet. And while some things feel like there's waves of emotion that are coming over you, and just some things, the impatience of everyone right now, just on this pause, we're feeling the emotions of the waves of the energy of bracing and coming up and down and up and down. You can feel your body pulsing and tingling and the ears ringing, and you're starting to feel all the higher vibes because of what's about to happen. You're evolving from the inside, and all those negativity thoughts that you've been holding in are starting to be pushed out of the surface. It's a tremendous time. You're also lucky to be there. And while it's still struggling, potentially, and you still got the harder, usually it's the bigger stuff, the last stuff, the remnants of everything. That is the last thing that needs to be shooken off. And you can do it. Don't keep yourselves in the prison in your mind. Release all. Don't save anything. It's so much easier now to see some blocks or some limitations or some belief system that no longer serves you. You can use this time to say, I'm releasing it now because it doesn't serve you. There's no shame in being a human. You're learning all the time. It almost could be shameful to say if you get stagnant. So pick yourself up and expand yourself and get excited. You should be celebrating because there's nothing going to stop this now. Nothing's going to stop what's about to happen now. Nothing can stop it. You're just waiting for the time. So release anything that is no longer serving you emotionally. It doesn't serve you anymore. Face it, release it, and move on. Tomorrow's a new day. So I'm so excited to have been able to connect with you, to share my love and to share my true joy and pride with Americans and with humanity, because it's always been about helping humanity. And I never forgot that. And I never have, and I never will. And it's the bigger picture here. We're all one. We are all one. And I say this with much love and gratitude and pride to be able to connect with you. And thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me today.